Joe, thank you, of course, for speaking to talkSPORT. We've got to start with the big one. Soccer Aid, your second time. How is it feeling going into the big one?
No, I'm buzzing. It was a great experience last year. It was something that I always wanted to do. I always looked at it from the side when I was still playing. The names that were involved, the atmosphere, the money raised, 120 million raised in the 20 years it's been going. That's just absolutely incredible, and ultimately that's what we're there for. So, good cause. Have a great time.
Definitely. I just want to take you back to one moment that really always stands out for me when it comes to Soccer Aid from last year, when it was Angry Ginge that cleared the ball off the line for you. I think they're the moments, aren't they, that Soccer Aid's all about, aren't they?
I think so. It was great. Angry Ginge, he's done excellent. He did really well in the game. He played 90 minutes, went toe-to-toe with some really good players. And look, you've got to be there for each other. That's a team, and that's what you try and build over the couple of days that we got to spend together. I know it's kind of thrown together, and like I say, we're there for a good cause, but as an athlete and someone who plays to win, I think you create that camaraderie, and then you get it in the stadium. Even the Big Zoo winner was a massive moment. Obviously, we fell the wrong side of it, but it just felt right. It just felt like a great moment for a great cause.
Of course, and look, you've shared the dressing room throughout your career with so many big names, of course, within the footballing capacity. But how does it feel when you are sharing it with beyond that? Some of the biggest celebrities now, of course, content creators across the globe, all participating on one pitch. So how does that sort of compare, to the playing days, if you like?
Look, obviously, I like the role that I've got, being the goalkeeper, and obviously a lot of the people aren't as comfortable as they maybe would be in their day job. So it's there to make people feel comfortable, make them feel welcome, make them feel like you can lead and be a senior player. But like I say, in those 2, 3, 4 days that we get together, you don't try, you create. And I think being around successful people like I am, whether it's footballers, content creators, everyone's in it for the right reasons, especially with the Soccer Aid. That's the really unique thing about it. We're all there for one thing, and that's to raise money for a great cause and create a real show.
Absolutely. Any players particularly that you're looking forward to playing with, or perhaps against, to maybe get a bit of revenge from last year, perhaps?
Look, obviously 100% we want revenge. I think Jordi Alba coming in special, that real kind of glittering career that he's had. Obviously we want to be up against Big Zoo. He got his winning moment last year, didn't he? But we want to reverse that. But just all the names and the people that are coming in. It's great to have Theo back. Danny Dyer's obviously a massive name, especially at the London Stadium. I feel like he's going to run the show. Yeah,
definitely. We'll hope so anyway, from an England perspective. Speaking of England, of course, the World Cup's on the horizon. Do you think finally, with, of course, Thomas Tuchel in charge, that's the final missing piece, if you like, for England to finally get over the line?
Look, we'll see. There's so much goes into it, and you even look at the campaign. Thomas Tuchel coming in from Gareth Southgate's reign, a little bit slow at the start, but he was just really building his foundations. I think he's timed his run really well. It looks like the players are really on board with what he's asking them. And look, England can be at their best in the summer, and ultimately it's the World Cup. You're up against the world's best. But I think they're more than capable. I want everyone to have great domestic seasons, as many medals around, as many of the players next as possible going into the summer. Confidence, and then we'll see what happens.
I just want to ask, of course, you've been there yourself. What is it like with that pressure? There's so much anticipation every time with England. We always like to claim that we are the footballing nation of the world, and I firmly back that. But what is that like, to carry the weight of the world almost, if you like, when it's going into a World Cup?
You make it sound like a negative. It's honestly not. It's an absolute. It's the biggest buzz you can be a part of. It's the epitome of why you play football. It's the World Cup. It's iconic. It's the levels. It's the detail. It's everything that goes into it. It's an incredible buzz, and ultimately, I felt it. That pin into the balloon can happen. You can get it popped, but at no moment did I feel like anything other than just anticipation, excitement, pride. You've got your family, your friends, your country on your shoulders, and that's not a heavy weight. It obviously is when it goes wrong. Look, no one enjoys the aftermath, but you've got to get in a headspace where you're going to win that tournament, and you're going there to win. And I'm sure they'll have that headspace. And like I say, once you get there, it's kind of in the lap of the gods. You need things to fall for you. You need decisions to go your way. But I think the team are more than good enough, like I say, to compete.
And of course, there's obviously going to be so much discussion about who should start, who should be even going on the plane. But I think maybe one position that won't be in too much of a discussion is the goalkeeper, perhaps. Is it as clear as saying Jordan Pickford, given the fact that he's been so incredible, of course, for the England national side?
No, look, he's been brilliant. And you're always going to have to respect the fact that there's some top goalkeepers in the country and there's some big decisions to be made. But Jordan's held that role down impeccably since he's played. He's been excellent in the tournaments. He's really stepped up. He's kept his form for Everton. You know, he's been a top goalkeeper for England. But, you know, the likes of Dean Henderson, Nick Pope, Aaron Ramsdale, James Trafford, they're all going to be pushing and they're all going to have the same dreams that we've all had. But and that's you want healthy competition. I've had it, I've experienced it. But then when it comes to the big moments, regardless of who's on the pitch, the other two goalkeepers are going to be just as important in terms of the squad mentality and what's going to build a winning team.
And while we're on the subject of goalkeepers, I think that's the one position that has just changed so much over the years. What do you think, from your perspective? Do you think the goalkeeping standard is stronger now, or would you say, you know, the more traditional shot stopping, staying on your line and making sure that you're really big in goal was a bit more impressive back then? Because obviously it's changed so much, hasn't it?
Yeah, you have to be the right goalkeeper for what your coach wants. You know, that's ultimately what you're going to be judged on. It's nice to have people liken your style or work with your style, but ultimately you need to be the best for the team. The goalkeeper's such a team position. You have to be in that kind of mentality of it's not about you. It's really not. As a goalkeeper, it's not about you. It's about what you bring to the team. So whatever style or whatever's being asked of you by your coaches and by your players, you need to be the best you possibly can be at that.
Definitely. Just a quick one on Celtic, of course. You know, that was where you hung your boots up, if you like, and it was such an incredibly successful period in your career. Of course, Martin O'Neill is there now until the end of the season. Hopefully, anyway, of course, from a talkSPORT perspective, he's a very good friend of ours. What do you want to see happen with Celtic moving forward? Who do you think would be a nice fit? Because it's such a big job. You all know more than most how big of a job it really is.
Who knows? Obviously, Martin's got a really important job right now. The little bit of unrest since Brendan left and Wilfred came in, Martin taking over. There's just a little bit of confusion at the moment. But they just need to settle down as a club. They're an incredible club. And when everyone's on the same page, they're such a strong force to be reckoned with. But they've been so successful, so successful. Like I say, incredible fan base. Just need a little realignment. I don't know who will be coming in after Martin, but I think Martin's done a brilliant job in what he's done in just bringing that real Celtic, because that's what they need to play on. You need to play on being a Celtic player, a Celtic manager, a Celtic supporter. And when they do, they're at their best. Absolutely.
And probably the most important question I'm going to ask you today, Joe, score prediction for the big game?
Hopefully. Us scoring more than them. Look, I want chaos, and if that means you have to let a few goals in for the chaos, for the fans, but we've got to come out on top this time.